Hello, welcome to another video. My name is Mitzi. Today we are going to do a lovely morning yoga flow that's aimed at beginners. So if you are new to yoga or if you just like to deepen your practice a bit more, then you're in the right place. To begin the flow, we need to understand our breath. The breath is an essential part of understanding yoga and developing your yoga practice. During the whole flow, you should be able to breathe easily and naturally. And if you're not, and if you're having trouble to breathe, then that's normally an indication to pull back, ease off some of the postures. So we're going to start by connecting with our breath. So standing in mountain pose, normally at the front of your mat, but I'm going to face you. So in mountain pose, if you have your feet about hip width apart, pressing equally through your feet, feeling really grounded and connected. You're going to be pushing through the three corners of your feet, below your big toe, below your little toe, and your heel. By pressing in, you're going to start to engage your legs. So maybe slight softness of the knees. You can feel the muscles in the thighs start to engage, hugging the bones. You want your knees over your ankles, your hips over your knees, your shoulders over your hips. So opening up that chest, maybe even rolling your shoulders up and back. Gently opening your palms to the front. Your neck is long, head is lifted, chin can be slightly tucked in, feeling that length at the back of your neck. And here, let's close our eyes. So we're going to start to bring our awareness to our breath now. And in yoga, the main form of breathing that you want to always come back to is your nasal breathing. So breathing in and out through your nose, nice and slowly breathing down. Continue with some more nasal breaths. So breathing in and out slowly through your nose. Maybe you can feel your body start to relax as your breath slows down, your heart rate slows down, and you start to tap into the rest and digest side of your nervous system, also known as the parasympathetic nervous system. And this helps you to feel calm, relaxed, and lift your mood. So hopefully you're still breathing through your nose, nice and slowly. And I just want you to do this now for a few more breaths. So I'm going to leave you and then I will come back. Well, I'll still be here, but I'm just going to stop talking. Okay, so in and out through your nose. Let's go. Easy breath, and we want to maintain this lovely easy breath throughout our flow this morning. So if at any point you feel like you're struggling to maintain this breath, then just pull back and maybe use a modification. But this should be a nice gentle introduction to yoga flow. Alright, we're now going to stand at the front of your mat. So still in mountain pose, feet hip width apart, rolling the shoulders up and down. And from here, we're going to inhale, reach your arms up over your head. Looking at your thumbs, exhale, hands by your side. Okay, continue this cycle, inhaling your arms up over your head, and then exhaling your hands down by your side. I'm going to cue your breath, but breathe at your own pace, at your own time. Regardless of where I am in my breath cycle, just fit in Inhaling your arms up and exhaling your hands down. We're just warming up the shoulders, gently warming up the spine. Your core is engaged. Inhaling your arms up, exhaling your arms down. Your legs are active, your feet are pressing into the mat. Okay, so on your next inhale, you're going to lift your arms up overhead and you're going to start to send your hips back as you bend forward, hinging at your hips. So your feet are hip width apart. Now, wherever you are, just hang there. So if maybe this is as far as you can go, that's fine. The aim is to keep your back long. Avoid rounding like this. That can cause strain in the back. So wherever you are, just rest here. And you're going to inhale, and then you're going to exhale. Soften your knees, push through your feet, and you're going to stand up again. So let's flow down, bending softly at the knees, forward fold wherever you are. Inhaling, pressing through the feet, pushing back up. Let's do this a couple more times. Exhaling, forward fold, bending the knees. Inhale, pushing through your feet, inhaling your arms up over your head. On your next exhale, you're going to come down again as we have been before, but this time you're going to plant your hands down, and then you're going to come down to all fours. So this is our tabletop position. It's called in Pilates or yoga, and we want to have quite a neutral spine, so you're not overarching, you're not hunched over. You really want to think about opening up your chest, feeling open in your chest, neutral neck, so you're not craning your head up, you're just looking straight at the floor below you, and you're engaging your lower belly. So continue to breathe deeply with some intention, holding your core in. And just breathe here. Now on your next inhale, you're going to send your belly to the floor, sending your tailbone to the ceiling, lifting your forehead up, gaze also lifted. Don't overarch the neck, but just look up a little bit. Exhale, you're going to round through your back this time, looking at your belly, rounding through the back, sending your tailbone to your heels. And continue this a few more times with your breath. Inhaling and exhale. Keeping that steady breath. Inhale, looking up, exhale, looking down, rounding through the spine. And from here we're going to come into child's pose. So this is a very fundamental pose in yoga. So you can bring your feet together. We're going to do a wide-kneed child's pose. Open your knees a bit wider, as wide as you're able to, and then you want to sit back on your feet. Now, if you've got reduced flexibility in your foot or in your toes, you can always roll up a blanket and put that under there, if that might feel a bit more comfortable. And then you want to send your hands forwards, and you're just going to sink your forehead down to the mat. Your hands and arms are still engaged, your fingers are spread wide and they're active, and you're just letting your chest sink towards the floor. Continue a few rounds of breath here, inhaling and exhaling, in and out through your nose. Child's pose is our restful posture, so if at any point you feel that you need to take a break in your practice, child's pose is a great pose to come to. This extended arm variation of child's pose is still quite active. In your arms are engaged, your hands are engaged. If you wanted a more gentle version, you can bring your knees in together, and then you're just going to come down, resting your head on the mat again, and then bringing your hands down by your sides. And then you can just rest here. On your next inhale, come up onto your knees. Exhale, send your hips back again. Inhaling, rocking forward. Exhaling, sitting back on your heels. Forehead down. Inhale, rocking forward. Making sure that your hands are spread wide. You're pressing through your hands and your fingers so that you're not loading all the way into your wrists. That's going to help to prevent any wrist injuries. You want your whole hand working. Inhale up and exhale back down. Again, we'll just stay in child's pose for a few more breaths here, keeping your arms active. Inhaling and exhaling through your nose. Alright, now coming back up to all fours, you can remove the blanket if you have one there. Going back into your all fours, you should have your shoulders over your wrists, hips over your knees. Now, for downward dog, which is the next pose we're going into, you're going to want to step your hands forward slightly. Keep your fingers spread wide, really pressing through your fingers and the tops of your palms below your finger joints, as well as the palm. You want to be spreading the weight evenly. You're going to curl under your toes, and then from here you're going to push into your hands, push into your toes, so you're hovering your knees off the mat. This is quite a strong pose. From here you're going to send your hips up and back. Keep your knees bent to begin with. And you want to focus on your shoulders are away from your ears and your spine is long. You're not rounding through the spine. You're pushing so that you've got length, and that's where bending the knees helps. So from here, you want to think about sending your heels towards the mat, but they may not touch. So keeping your knees as bent as you want, you don't want to be loading in the lower back. And then start to pedal out your legs, stretching one leg and then the other, taking it in turns to send each heel to the floor, or as close to the floor as you're able to. I know to begin with I definitely couldn't get my heels to the floor, but you'll find with regular practice your muscles will lengthen and you will develop more flexibility as well as strength. Making sure you're pushing the hands away, that will stop your shoulders from creeping up to your ears, helping you to open up your chest. And we're breathing through our nose. At any point, if you need to take a break, drop your knees or come back into child's pose. But if you're with me still in downward dog, let's do 2 more breaths, in and out through our nose. Lovely. And now come back down to all fours. Now from here, we're going to bring our left foot in between our hands. You may feel that you need to support your leg to get it there. That's fine, as long as you get there. And then we're going to come up. So again, you may need to use your leg to support yourself. But once you're here, you can have your hands on your hips. If you've got sore knees, you can add something under your knee. The blanket for a bit of extra support. And we're going to open up our chest, rolling our shoulders away from our ears. We've got a nice long spine. Inhale long, and then exhale. See if you can go a bit deeper into that lunge. You may need to send that foot forward slightly, and you're just going to lower into the lunge. Really important is keeping your knee stacked on top of your ankle. You don't want to overshoot like this, as that can put too much strain on your knee. So make sure you've got a nice 90-degree angle in that front knee. If that feels okay and you're in this lunge, inhale your arms up over your head. Take your deep breaths. Keep breathing nice and slowly through your nose. your hands down and we're going to swap. So this time we're going to reach our right foot between your hands, and remember you can help your leg forward if you need to. From here, using the leg to support you up, or if you're able to, pushing into the foot using your supporting knee, coming up into your high lunge. Now you may need to take your front foot a little bit forward, and we're going to inhale, tall spine, exhale, sink into that hip, feeling a lovely stretch in your hips. Remembering we want to keep our knee stacked over our ankle to avoid any injuries, and you should really feel that you're pushing the floor away with your foot, engaging the whole leg. Inhale, exhale, can you sink a little bit lower? And breathe. Remember, if that's okay, you can lift your arms up and keep breathing nice and slowly through your nose, in and out through your nose. Lovely. And then on your next exhale, lowering your hands to the mat and stepping back into our tabletop pose. From here, we're going to curl under the toes and we're going to do another downward dog. So, curling under the toes, pushing the hands away into the floor, sending our hips up to the sky, keeping our knees bent to begin with, and then we can slowly start to straighten them. Inhale, straighten one leg, exhaling, straightening the other leg. Lovely. And now from here, we're going to look at our hands. So you may wish to take small steps and just walk to the front of your mat. From here, we're in that forward fold again. We are trying to soften our knees, connecting our belly to our thighs, having length in the lower back. We don't want it to be pulling like this. So if it means you have to come up so that you keep this path straight. Bend through your knees a bit more, and then we're going to inhale, push through the floor to stand nice and tall, reaching your arms up over your head, and then exhale, your hands back down. Okay, now we're going to try and put that all together into a lovely flow. So, standing at the front of your mat in mountain pose. This is a strong pose. We're pressing equally through both feet. Our legs are engaged, our shoulders are up and down and away from our ears. And we're feeling strong and calm. Inhale, your arms up on your next inhale, overhead, looking at your hands, maybe if the neck allows. Exhale, forward fold, bending your knees so that you can have no pulling in the lower back. Inhale, lengthen a bit so that you're looking up, maybe even putting your hands to your thighs or to your shins, and you're just going to have a straight spine looking directly at the floor. We're going to step back into our tabletop position, and we're going to breathe here for a moment. Inhale, exhale, curling under your toes. You're going to send your hips up to the sky. You're going to breathe again, inhaling and exhaling through your nose, lovely deep breaths, maybe pedaling out the legs. Fabulous. Lowering your knees down. We're going to bring our right foot this time in between your hands. Remember, you can help it if you need, and we're going to come up, all the way up to our low lunge, and we're going to sink into the hips, making sure that our knee is staying on top of our ankle. And then coming back through, lowering your hands, coming through tabletop, swapping to the other side. Inhale up. Exhale, can you sink a bit deeper? Inhaling up, hands back down on your next exhale, coming back through tabletop. Curl under your toes, and we're sending our hips up back into your downward facing dog. Inhaling and exhaling, we're going to do 3 breaths. Remember, at any point you can come to your child's pose, but if you're with me, 2 more breaths. And last breath, looking forward to our hands, and we're going to take a few steps to the front of our mat. We're going to inhale, hands to your thighs or your shins, lengthen the spine nice and long. Exhale, forward fold. Try and get your belly to your thighs, bending your knees as much as you need. You don't want to try and lock out the knees if it's going to pull the lower back. Nice and relaxed. Now we're pressing through the floor, we're engaging our legs. Inhale, push all the way up to stand. Gentle back bend as we look up. Exhale, your hands down to your side. Okay, we're now going to come and sit on the floor. Feet are going to be out in front of you with your knees bent. Sit up and then engaging your core, see if you can roll slowly down, feeling your core work. Gently lower down. Well done. Going to come to lying on our backs, bending your knees, feet planting into the ground, and you're just going to let your knees drop to one side on your exhale, and then inhale your legs back up. Exhale, let them drop to the other side. Maybe have your hands on your belly. Inhaling back to the front, to the ceiling. Exhale, dropping the other way. Inhale, knees back up. Final exhale to that second side and straight. Okay. Now lengthen out your legs and we're going to come into our final relaxation. So in final relaxation, Shavasana or corpse pose, you're lying normally on the floor if your back allows. If you have a bit of tension in the lower back, then feel free to keep your legs bent, feet about the width of your mat, and just let your knees flop in. This is quite nice on the lower back if you have any tension there. If your back feels okay, then join me by opening your legs, extending them out, feet about mat width apart still, and just let your feet flop out so that your hips are fully relaxed. Your shoulders are away from your ears, and then your arms are a little bit away from your body, palms to the ceiling. And let everything go with your exhale. Remember, we're always coming back to our breath, inhaling and exhaling. And I want you to start to scan your body. Can you draw your awareness to any areas that might feel a bit tense? Or do you notice any different sensations if this is the first time you've done any form of yoga? Drawing your awareness now to your feet. Can you feel any tension in your feet? If you do, can you let that tension go? Moving up to your calves and your knees, can you feel any tension there? And if you can you let that tension go? Finally, drawing your awareness in the lower body to the thighs, the front of the thighs, the back of the thighs, the hips. Can you feel any tension there? And if you can you let that tension go? And can you tell yourself that your feet and your legs are relaxed? Moving on to the lower belly, the lower back, the chest and the upper back. Can you feel any tension in your belly, in your back? If you do, can you let that tension go? And tell yourself, my chest, my belly and my back are relaxed. Moving into the hands now. Scanning the hands, can you feel any tension there? If you can you let that tension go? Drawing your awareness to the lower arms and the upper arms and your shoulders. Can you feel any tension there? And if you can you let that tension go? And tell yourself that your hands, your arms and your shoulders are now all relaxed. moving into the neck and the back of the head, the front of the head and your face. Are you holding any tension there? If you are, can you let that tension go and tell yourself that your neck, the back of your head, the front of your head, your face is all relaxed. Breathing nice and easily through your nose, in and out. Start to take some more deeper and intentional breaths in and out through your nose, waking the body up after this short relaxation. Maybe start to wiggle your fingers and your toes, bringing a bit of movement back into the body. Next, reach your arms out over your head, stretch your legs, point your toes, stretch your fingers, and then let everything go. Just let everything drop. And then now hugging your knees into your chest, maybe rocking gently from side to side, slowly waking yourself up. Keeping your eyes closed if you're able to, rolling onto your right side. Using your hand under your head, pressing yourself up to sit it. Keeping your eyes closed. And once you join me in a comfortable seated position, let's lift our shoulders up to our ears and roll them back down. We're going to inhale, our arms up overhead. So drop your hands to the side first on your next inhale. Bring your hands up overhead, palms together above your head. Exhale, drop your hands to your heart center. Let's go again. Inhale your arms up overhead into prayer. Exhale, drawing your hands into your heart center. One final one. Inhale your arms, big stretch through the fingers. Into prayer over your head, and then exhale into your heart center. From here, thank yourself for taking part in this morning beginner's yoga class. And start to rub your palms together, generating lots of heat. And then gently place your warm palms over your eyes. And start to blink your eyes open. And then slowly start to allow some light in. And there you are. I hope you enjoyed this practice today and maybe you feel a bit lighter, a bit calmer, and you moved your body. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. There are a few other beginners videos and there are some more intermediate yoga flows if you want something a bit more energetic. Let me know if you found this useful and if you'd like any more beginners videos like this. But as always, take care and I will see you in the next one.